Watchog desperately running out of HP but able to reach the grass knot, and this grass knot is going to do huge damage. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spice Zone. My name is not Boyghost, but shout out to Boyghost, we all miss you buddy. My name is Jamie Finn 1415, and today we have one of the most ridiculous battle submissions I have ever seen. You can see on the screen, I'm checking out on PvPoke where these things are ranked. Speaking of fellow content creators, Yasa often says top 3 on PvPoke. So if you added up the top 3 on PvPoke, whatever's ranked first, ranked second and ranked third, you would obviously come to the number 6. If you add the total of these 3 Pokemon, you would get 2,201. Huge respect to today's battle submitter, Adric, because I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, how the hell do you get some wins? I actually tried to use Misdreavus, if that's even how you pronounce it, for Callum on Toast, a Battle of Spice content creator edition. I honestly thought it's one of the worst Pokemon I've ever used. However, this season Astonish did get buffed, so we're going to see it back in action. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we're off to a dreadful start. Watchog into Hitmontop, but just like that, the opponent makes one of the worst save switches I have ever seen, sending out a Psychic type into our buffed Ghost. We fire off the Shadow Sneak, the opponent completely sacks Meltang. What is going on? Out comes Piloswine. We're going straight for the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse goes unshielded, and this video is going to be shambles from start to finish. If this opponent's hoping they can 2-shield their Hitmontop through the entire team, they're going to be very sad. And holy cow, the opponent full centre high horsepower despite us having 2 Protect Shields. In comes Watchog. Watchog gets the low kick farm down. That is honestly something I never thought I'd say, but there it was. And it's going to be a very straightforward tap tap air slash farm down to their finish. Shadow Xatu comes in, gets the full air slash farm down, and we're off to a 1-0 start. Heading into the next battle. Watchog into Dragalge. I'd say a pretty bad matchup, but I'm not really sure what Watchog is doing on my screen and what it intends to counter. But running low kick, it is going to be resisted by Dragalge's sub-poison typing. My god, non-stab Aqua Tail nearly took us out. Watchog hangs on, fires off the Crunch. Crunch hits for decent neutral damage, and then we send in our Ghost to look for probably an aggressive Astonish farm down. We're going to shield up the next incoming Aqua Tail. Can the buffed Astonish get the full farm down? Yes, we can. We've already seen Misdreavus hits like a truck. The opponent sends out Ariados. We go for the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak forces the first Protect Shield. The opponent then pivot out into Rapidash. Very nice timing from Adric. We throw 3 Astonishes and the Dark Pulse. The opponent shows no respect. They near get one shot. We snipe with the air slash. And once again, Xatu is about to go to town. Despite having 2 Protect Shields, we're not shielding the incoming Trailblaze. Of course, that is resisted. Why did it do so much damage? This thing is so glassy. Adric gonna shield up the next lunge. And we're gonna air slash farm down and take that game. Moving on to the next one. Holy crap, Shadow Charizard. This thing is running air slash, and these air slashes are doing ridiculous damage. We're not shielding up the Dragon Claw. Watchog just about survives, able to reach the Crunch. Shadow Charizard, made of paper, likely gets a Protect Shield. So Watchog actually put in a reasonable amount of work. Adric opts to pivot, not wanting to give Charizard any more farm. Sends out Misdreavus. We shield up the Dragon Claw. The opponent also not wanting to get farmed out and send out Machamp. Trainer, that is not the switch you are looking for. We fire off the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak forced to Protect Shield. Machamp has only thrown 6 counters. We see the instant no-shield deployed. This can only be a double resisted cross chop. We withstand the damage. Make Shadow Sneak. Number 2. It's going to be high Machamp. Bye Machamp. Once again, it looks like Adric, hoping Xatu can sweep the back line. Back out comes Charizard. Charizard dies to the Astonish. And the opponent's final Pokemon is Galvantula. Holy crap. These Volt Switches are absolutely tearing us apart. Adric needs to start shielding. Obviously, the opponent's going to look to debuff us. Adric looks like he's going for as much damage as he can. He resets his debuff, switches back out into Xatu, fires off the Ominous Wind, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Shadow Xatu, evidently the most ruthless closer in the entire Great League. You heard it here first. In the next battle, we see some more Shadow and Shadow crime. This is probably a matchup that we are favoured in, as the opponent's going to be forced to go for Bone Clubs, but holy cow, non-stab Bone Club did huge damage. However, not as much as this Crunch would have. It sneaks through off the opponent's shields, and then we pivot out into Misdreavus. We see the instant shield deployed. From Adric, the opponent YOLO a Shadow Ball. Holy cow, this opponent, a fan of nuking, you love to see it, then save switch into Electrode. Adric continuing to farm up. He's going to be able to shield up this incoming discharge and outpace Electrode to back-to-back charge moves. We throw one Astonish and the Dark Pulse for optimal fast move time in the first Dark Pulse. Forces the final Protect Shield. Adric again, very nice timing, throws one Astonish and the Shadow Sneak. Electrode gets vanquished, back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shadow Golbat. Triple Shadows versus Triple Shadows. Shout out this opponent. Adric sends out Xatu with no Protect Shields. Too hard behind, but stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the Shadow Ball onto Watchog. The opponent probably undercharged, I imagine. Even a double-resisted Shadow Ball would have took us out. Back out comes Xatu. We anticipate the opponent looking to make a catch in return. We overfarm, fire off the Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind secures the knockout onto Marowak. Back out comes Shadow Golbat, but is Ominous Wind enough to knock out? Yes, no! They survive on 1 HP and a Dream, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss, but very, very well played. Moving on to the next one. Watchog into Quillfish, or if I was rise to the occasion, we'd say Quill God. Again, our low kicks are resisted due to their sub-poison typing. The opponent fires off the Aqua Tail and ouch, that hurt. Essentially everything hurts Watchog, as we're made of paper. It looks like we even lose CMP. Oof. Not only are we made of paper, apparently we don't even have that high of an attack stat. We shield up the Aqua Tail, return fire with the Crunch, forcing a Protect Shield, and we see their pivot into Misdreavus. We can really see this season's Astonish buff, as these Astonishes are doing ridiculous damage. The opponent full send an Ice Beam that near takes us out. We hang on with a sliver of HP, return fire with the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak secures the knockout. The opponent then sends out Golbat. Golbat going to be greeted with Shadow Sneak number 2. Shadow Sneak gets Golbat down below half health. However, this looks ridiculously rough. Adric's going to need to wait out his full clock and once again hope to make a catch. In comes Xatu. Holy, Adric, you're on fire. What a play. That is back-to-back games. We've managed to catch a resisted Shadow Ball onto Watchog. Back out comes Xatu. Xatu goes straight for the Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Of course, Adric gonna need to start shielding this. The opponent again full send a Shadow Ball. We get the air/farm down. Show me something we can one-shot. The opponent's final Pokemon is Heracross. Ask and you shall receive. And Xatu pulls off an incredible sweep. GG's and thanks for playing. I really am having far too much fun. In the next battle, Watchog into Jellicent. The Hexes are double resisted due to our normal typing. However, I don't think we're going to tank the Surf particularly well. We see the instant no-shield deployed. The opponent running Bubble Beam. Very horny for the debuff. Adric fires off 4 low kicks and the Crunch for optimal fast move timing. Crunch, oh, did disappointing damage. What is this Watchog? It's got a crap attack stat, hits like a wet noodle and has no bulk. The opponent this time full send the Shadow Ball. Even though it's double resisted, it does do more damage. We then pivot into Misdreavus to catch the incoming Bubble Beam. Despite lowering our attack, the opponent needs to pivot all with a farm down. The opponent opt just to get farm down and then send out Tentacruel. Holy cow, it looks like they've got no response for a Ghost in the back. The opponent goes straight for an Acid Spray and we see the instant no shield deployed. After lowering our defense by 2 stages, the opponent is going to be able to resist it. Poison Jab farm down, but not before. Misdreavus fires off 2 charge moves. We fire off the first Dark Pulse, forcing a Protect Shield, and Misdreavus says there's plenty more of where that came from. The second Dark Pulse forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We've now managed to get ourselves a 2-0 shield advantage. We send out Watchog with the Crunch locked and loaded. Crunch lands for decent damage and the opponent throw. Let's go. Once again, it's an Acid Spray. Acid Spray isn't quite lethal. We then see the Simul swap. Xatu into Salazzle. This is one of the horniest opponents I've ever seen, running a triple debuff theme team. However, unfortunately for this opponent, no amount of debuffing will be saving you from losing to our Spice Lord, Mr. Adric, as Ominous Wind secures the knockout. Back out comes Tentacruel, and Xatu air/farms down, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see what I thought should be a positive lead. However, the quick attacks from this Furret are doing more than our low kicks. The opponent fires off a dig. Holy cow, Watchog, where is your bulk? We survive though. Return fire with the Crunch. Crunch force a Protect Shield. We then see the pivot into Xatu. The opponent needs to farm up to a Hyper Beam to do any meaningful damage. This is only a Brick Break or a dig, but even a resisted dig did quite a lot of damage. It looks like Adric looking for the farm down. He recognises he can't make the farm down and throws the Ominous Wind on the CMP type. Ominous Wind forces a Protect Shield. And it looks like we're just going to sack our Xatu as we managed to get shield advantage. It's 2 shield Misdreavus time. In comes Misdreavus. We get the resisted Astonish farm down. The opponent now send out another Hitmon top. And this is going to be hopefully game, set and match. If this is their best answer for a ghost type, we're looking very good to sweep. The opponent fire off the double resisted close combat lowering their own defense, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to be able to fully astonish farm down. We fire off the Shadow Sneak, securing the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Vigoroth. Again, very nice timing, 3 astonishes, and the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse does over half their HP, so we can easily just shield up. Likely the Body Slam bait. I wasn't even counting. It is just a Body Slam, or was that a Brick Break? I don't know. I don't care, but what I do care about is Misdreavus taking this game. GG's. I'm sure they threw, after just 5 counters, we threw 3 astonishes, so it was probably a Body Slam. Moving on to the next battle, Watchog into Lantern, aka the silly electric fish. We've got that grass coverage. We're going to look to tank the surf. We already know this is going to do huge damage. Watchog running out of HP, reaching for the grass knot. And does the opponent know? We've got that grass type coverage. Grass knot lands for huge damage, but unfortunately we do lose the 0 shield. However, undeterred, we send in Misdreavus, get 1 Astonish farm down, and then the opponent responds with Gligar. The opponent throw the aerial ace, not at the best timing, giving us 2 free turns. Adric gonna show this opponent how to throw optimal timing, throws 3 astonishes, and the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak forces the protection. Adric looks like he's committing to the Dark Pulse. Oof, we don't get there, we get farmed down. It's now all down to Xatu with 2 Protect Shields to sweep this game. Adric still not shielding. What the heck? The opponent threw a resisted dig. What is going on? Adric living rent-free in the opponent's head. He correctly shields up the aerial ace. The opponent's final Pokemon is yet another Hitmon top. I have never seen so many Hitmon top in my life. This is so random. But you know the drill. We're going to shield up, likely the triple axle. The opponent again for the close combat. So I'm not even going to comment, but we're going to air slash farm down leave with the Ominous Wind. It's going to be hi Gligar, bye Gligar. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, if I could stop laughing. We've got Watchog into the Quagman. Please, please land the grass knot. Please, that is what I want as my New Year present. The opponent doesn't farm up to potential Earthquake or Stone Edge. So we easily tank a Mud Bomb. Well, not easily, we do tank it. And we are full sending the grass knot. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oh, Mr. Opponent, you've ruined all my fun. The opponent shields up the grass knot. We're just going to let Watchog go down, and we send in Xatu. The opponent has revealed their full moveset of Aqua Tail and Mud Bomb. So we see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent fire off the Mud Bomb. So if you're a newer battler, these are obviously at somewhat lower elo. Just Google type in resistances and make sure you're always throwing the correct charge move. Adric banks a boatload of energy, sends out Misdreavus, and we're going to start shielding. We shield up the Aqua Tail. Misdreavus looks for the full Astonish farm down, and we get it. We're in the 1-to-1 shield. We've got energy here, there, and every fucking where. The opponent sends out Dragonair. We look to fire off the Shadow Sneak, but unfortunately lose CMP. Again, the opponent fires off the wrong charge move. Both Body Slam and Aqua Tail both cost 35 energy. Aqua Tail would hit for neutral, whereas Body Slam would be double resisted. The opponent shielded in return, and we're full sending the Dark Pulse. Get that Dragonair out of here. The opponent's final Pokemon is Skeledirge. Skeledirge does get the full Incinerate farm down. However, we bank the future sight, and our Psychic type is about to be a Ghost type counter confirmed. GG's. Heading into the next battle, Watchog into another Quagman. We have another opportunity to land that Grass Knot. Please, please land the Grass Knot. This opponent at least farmed up to a potential big move. We see Adric call the bait. The opponent fire off the Mud Bomb. We withstand the damage and we return fire with the Grass Knot. Does the opponent respect the damage? Ah, 2 for 2 shielded. Who the heck knows Watchog's moveset? Again, we're going to see Adric take his shield advantage and send out Xatu. Xatu comes in. The opponent opt to send out Registeel, and holy cow, Registeel is not really something that our team wants to see. As we have shield advantage, we're going to instantly shield up the Focus Blast. Okay. We then see the pivot into Misdreavus again. We're going to say this opponent only has Focus Blast? What is going on? I imagine this is single moved, or the opponent is just unsure on typings. But either way, Adric continues to farm up, throws the Dark Pulse, forcing a protection. We look to throw the next Dark Pulse, but unfortunately the opponent get there one turn before. Yet another Focus Blast. This is definitely single moved. Adric over farming, looking to double up, but we get lock on farm down. It's now all down to Xatu to sweep this team. We throw the Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind secures the knockout. Back out comes the Quagman. Is this another single moved Quag with only Mud Bomb? The opponent bait with a Mud Bomb. Or perhaps they've just got Mud Bomb. Let's see. What does the opponent throw here? It is another Mud Bomb. We withstand the damage. Adric then over farms. Fires off the Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind will be securing the knockout. It's all going to depend on what's in the back. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Water Gun Lantern. Adric farms up as much as he physically can. Is Future Sight enough to knock out? No, but we managed to air slash farm down. Holy cow, what a win. Huge shout out to Adric for submitting the funnest battles I have ever seen. That was incredible. Some of his opponents were a bit questionable, but either way, they were some fun battles. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. This will probably be my last upload of 2023, so Happy New Year to all, and I'm going to see you all in the next one.